This is a clear violation of the bylaws. Your fence post is 6 inches over the line, and I am ordering you to stop work immediately. I woke up to 12 bright orange violation tags zip-tied to my front door, like it was Christmas for bullies, and I was the tree. I blinked, thought it was a prank, then read the names stamped across every page from Brenda, our HOA president, the self-crowned queen of hedges and hatred. My mailbox height, violation. My porch light being too warm, violation. A tiny chip in the paint on my fence, violation. The scariest one said, unauthorized encroachment on HOA path with a photo of my gravel strip, where my property meets the community walkway. 12 fines, 12 threats. 12 ways to say we own you. I took a breath, walked outside, and saw Brenda standing on the path with her clipboard, like a sheriff in a spaghetti western. She gave me the smile she saves for funerals. "We expect full compliance by Friday," she said, "or we escalate." I tried appealing that night. I wrote a calm email. I brought cookies to the board meeting. I asked my neighbors to speak for me. They looked down at their shoes like the floor was more interesting than my life. One neighbor whispered, "I can't upset her. She notes license plates." The board nodded with blank faces while Brenda read my violations like bedtime stories. Appeal denied. Cookies untouched. That night, I paced my kitchen. I felt small and hot inside, like my ribs were a kettle. 12 tickets for what? For breathing too loud near her path. My dad's voice popped into my head. Paper beats noise, kid. So I dug for paper and pulled out my old folder from the house sale. Survey maps, title documents, a faded note from the previous owner about an easement issue. At midnight, I taped the survey map to my wall and traced the lines with a flashlight. The path ran right along my yard. But here was the shocker. The survey showed the path edge actually sat 2 feet inside my property line for about 30 feet. My eyes went wide. The HOA path wasn't fully on HOA land. I barely slept. Morning sun cracked over the fence, and my plan arrived like a text message from fate. If Brenda could weaponize rules, I could use them too, but clean, legal, quiet. I called the county recorder. I asked about the easement. Turns out the path segment by my house had a verbal use years ago when the developer cut corners. No recorded easement, no agreement. Just habit and loud clips from Brenda's sandals. So I filed the paperwork. I recorded a boundary affidavit. I submitted a permit for a low garden fence exactly on my surveyed line. I paid a surveyor to come out and mark it with neon flags. People stared. Brenda hovered with her phone, muttering about community standards. I smiled like a villain in a teen movie and offered her lemonade. When the fence posts arrived, I set them in clean concrete right along the flags. Not across the path, just along my line. Which, surprise, shaved 2 feet off the walkway. It made the path too narrow for golf carts, and Brenda loved riding that thing like a parade float. I hung a simple sign on my side, private property line. Respect the boundary. I used her favorite word, compliance. Brenda exploded. She marched up with a fresh stack of tickets, waving them like pom-poms. "You're obstructing HOA property," she shouted. "Remove this now." I kept my voice dry. "Show me the recorded easement, giving the HOA the right to use my land, and I'll consider it." Neighbors started filming. Phones popped up like sunflowers. You could feel the air snap. Brenda called the police, which made me laugh inside because nothing says I'm right like dialing 911 on a fence. 2 officers rolled up, calm and polite. Brenda did her opera. Teresa, the county recordings, the permit. The older officer read quietly, then asked Brenda, "Do you have an easement document?" She blinked fast. "We have rules," she said. "And precedent. Rules aren't deeds." The officer replied. He looked at me. "You're within your rights." Brenda's face could have boiled water. she switched tactics and called the HOA inspector. The inspector came with a metal clipboard and a pen like a sword. He walked the line, looked at the flags, the posts, the permit. He sighed. "Mrs. Sterling," he said to Brenda, "this path appears to extend into your neighbor's property. Without a recorded easement, the HOA can't enforce use. These violations won't stand." Neighbors giggled. Someone whispered, "Get her paperwork, Brenda." Brenda tried one last swing. An emergency board meeting in the cul-de-sac. Chairs appeared, people gathered. She read my 12 violations again, this time with more spice. Then I stepped forward, held up the survey, and turned on my little portable speaker. I had recorded my call, with the county public info line saying there's no easement on record. I hit play. The calm clerk's voice floated over the crowd. "There is no recorded easement for the walkway beside that parcel." The crowd shifted. Heads tilted toward me, away from her. A neighbor who used to avoid eye contact raised his hand and said, "So we've been using his land." Another neighbor laughed nervously. "Brenda, did you know?" she stammered. "'Tis about community standards." I kept it simple. "Standards are fine, but you fine me for your mistake." The inspector cleared his throat. "I will be rescinding these violations. And Mrs. Sterling, your golf cart should not use this narrow section anymore. It's unsafe. Phones recorded every second." A kid yelled. Brenda got cart blocked. Laughter broke like a wave. A week later, the board sent a letter to all residents. The path would be rerouted around the actual HOA land. The 12 violations officially withdrawn. Brenda was relieved of her duties pending review. Her golf cart sat like a sad pumpkin on her driveway. The new path crews came by, and neighbors waved to me from a safe, legal distance. One brought those cookies back and said, "Sorry, we didn't speak up." I planted lavender along my little fence, the kind that hums with bees. The evenings got quiet. No more clipboards. No more surprise tickets. The best part was the whispers turning into laughter when people passed Brenda's house. She now walks the long way around, chin high, eyes straight, pretending the world isn't smaller for her. People keep asking if I feel bad. I don't. I didn't cheat or yell or smash. I read. I checked lines. I pushed back. Brenda taught me her game, and I played by the book. The difference is, my book was real. Now every time I sit on my porch and watch the sunset edge along that tidy fence, I think about those 12 tags on that first morning. She wanted to own me with paper. Instead, I own the path with facts. Please follow for more Karen conflict like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.